Welcome to Homeschool Nolan, here to help you navigate learning in the digital age. There's a lot of anxiety these days about how AI is taking over our jobs and displacing people. If you're an older person, you may be especially worried about keeping up with new job skills and battling age discrimination. If you're in the middle of your career, you may worry that you will be made redundant. And if you're a young person graduating from college, you may be stressed out about finding that first entry-level job. Now, AI is being blamed for a lot of this anxiety. But what is it about AI that's making it so disruptive? After all, past technological innovations such as the steam engine, the automobile, and the microprocessor all ended up creating far more jobs than they displaced. AI, on the other hand, seems to be creating what people are calling a winner-takes-all world. In this world, not only are most of the benefits going to a few people at the top, but human muscle and brain power is no longer needed to scale. And if you're in high school or college right now, understanding this shift isn't just helpful, it's essential for your future success. So in this video, I'd like to share some thoughts on how parents and teachers can help prepare their kids for a winner-takes-all world. But first, I'd like to dive deeper on what exactly is creating this winner-takes-all world. I first came across this term as applied to jobs years ago when I was reading this book, Cal Newport's So Good They Can't Ignore You. Cal Newport got this quote from actor and comedian Steve Martin. Becoming, quote, so good they can't ignore you was Steve Martin's simple advice for success in show business. But how good you need to be really depends on what type of job market you're in. In this book, Cal Newport describes two types of career capital markets. First, there's the winner-takes-all market, and then second, there's the auction markets. Now, most of us work in some type of auction market where there's lots of room for skilled workers. Think doctors, lawyers, engineers, plumbers, and accountants. And then there's the winner-takes-all market where a few people at the top reap almost all the rewards. Think sports, music, and entertainment. Now, for most of human history, in order to scale and accomplish great things, you always needed more people to do work. So whether it was building pyramids, the Great Wall of China, winning a war, or churning out cars at a factory, you always needed more workers to scale. Yes, a few powerful people at the top always reap most of the glory and the rewards, but they couldn't do it without masses of workers working for them in their offices and factories and fields. But in this winner-takes-all world, driven by AI, not only do the rewards go overwhelmingly to the creators of the technology and the people who can uniquely leverage it, but the technology itself is the worker now. And there are fewer and fewer tasks that AI can't do. Yes, AI does create some new jobs, and they're very high paying, but it's only creating a few very high paying jobs for very talented people who can help build the AI. In other words, to get a high paying tech job in this new world, being pretty good or above average is not enough. You now have to be one of the best. Again, I like to draw a comparison to the world of sports and entertainment. Most of us with enough practice can become pretty good at playing a sport or musical instrument, but only a tiny percentage of us can ever do it well enough to make money doing it, like LeBron James or Taylor Swift. I'm afraid to say that fields like software engineering are becoming increasingly like that, where the high-paying jobs in this field are going to be reserved for elite talent that can do what AI can't do yet. The moment machines can do a task like summarizing, organizing data, or writing basic code, that task's value drops to near zero. Influence and wealth are no longer scaling linearly with your effort. They are scaling exponentially with innovation and leverage. So what to do? How can we adapt to this fast-changing winner-takes-all world? Now, I'm fortunate enough to have been able to start my own career back when tech jobs were plentiful. But as a homeschool parent today of a teenager, I now often wonder what path my kids should take and how I should be preparing for them now. The more I thought about it, The more I realize that preparing our kids for the future is about more than just choosing the right field of study or learning a particular skill. It's really about adopting an entirely different mindset. And that mindset is what I would call the entrepreneurial mindset. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, most of us think of entrepreneurs as people who start businesses. Now, people who start businesses approach the world differently and have an entirely different mindset than those who only work for others. Even if you don't actually start a business yourself, you can still benefit by having the mindset of an entrepreneur. So how do entrepreneurs think? Well, for one, entrepreneurs take ownership and responsibility for their situation. They don't blame others for their misfortune. I see a lot of people posting online these days how corporate greed is responsible for a lot of these layoffs. While I don't deny that greed certainly exists in this world, blaming your situation on greed isn't going to help you. Remember, corporations and CEOs don't exist to employ you. They exist to return money to investors by providing products and services that customers are willing to pay for. So if they don't do that well, they will soon go out of business and their investors will lose money. Anyone who owns stock in a company should appreciate that. So instead, take ownership of your own career and your own fate. Consider yourself the CEO of one person of your own career. And as CEO of your own career, treat AI agents and other tools as your personal assistants. Remember, you are in control of how you respond to the world around you. Of course, it's not always clear how we should respond to a fast-changing world. And that leads me to my second trait of the entrepreneurial mindset, and that is embracing ambiguity. Embracing ambiguity means trying to figure out how to do things when there are no clear instructions or examples. Think Jeff Bezos in 1994, when he wanted to create an online store on this thing called the internet. Back then, there were no books or YouTube videos telling him how to create a brand new internet company. He had no experience selling books. He had to figure all of it out as he went along. Now, most of us are in jobs where there are clear instructions and examples of how to do most of the tasks. Embracing ambiguity, on the other hand, can be uncomfortable because most of us have been trained by our education system to learn from books and lectures. But guess what? AI is really good at that too, and it can learn how to do those types of jobs really well as well. So the only way you can really stay ahead of AI is by being able to solve new problems and create new solutions that haven't been done before. Now, ambiguity, by definition, involves uncertainty and therefore risk. And that leads me to a third trait of the entrepreneurial mindset, and that is be willing to take risks. Behind every successful billionaire entrepreneur you hear about in the news, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of entrepreneurs who took a risk that didn't pay off. The reason that some entrepreneurs become fabulously wealthy is because they took a risk, and that, combined with their hard work, they were rewarded for it. In a free market society, people are rewarded for performing labor and by taking risks. But in a winner-takes-all world, I believe there will be fewer opportunities to make money through your labor alone, as machines take over repetitive work that have clear instructions. You now need to be able to take risks on new ideas or companies by investing your time and or money in them. Of course, the scary part about taking risk is, of course, the risk of failure, especially as you get older in life and have more responsibilities. But young people who don't have as many responsibilities yet can afford to take on more risk. And that's what I plan to teach my own children as they get closer to adulthood. But regardless of what stage you are in life, understanding that we are now living in a winner-takes-all world is essential if you want to survive and thrive. And I hope this video has been helpful as you adopt your own mindset and approach to this brave new world. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to click subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.